This video is your one-stop shop to all things music promotion. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 2 steps, and it's really as simple as that in order to get yourself going and build yourself a fan base. But in essence, it really comes down to finding new listeners and growing your fan base. Okay, so finding new listeners. This is reach. This is anytime you make a post and people view your post, stream your song, watch your video. How can we increase that pool? How can we reach more people? In the second step, we're going to be worrying about how we can convert those people into listeners. So first, how do we reach more people? The things that I'm about to say and list are in no particular order. It's not like I'm recommending one way or another. I'm listing my top ways in order to do it, and then you can decide by yourself what you would like to put most effort into. Okay, so number 1, playlisting or playlists. I'm sure you know about this. This is like the most obvious thing. Getting yourself onto playlists that already have an established audience is key into them finding you. When it comes to things like Spotify, there's really no helping hand. So you have to get yourself onto these playlists. The number 1 source right now, and it's so underrated to get onto playlists, in my opinion, is SubmitHub. For a very low fee, you can send your song to all of these playlist curators who in turn will review whether they want to put your song on or not. So there is a critiquing system and a feedback system, but you can build relationships with these playlist curators independently. It's just you and the playlist curator, which in some cases are record labels. And the second way to get onto playlists, and hear me out here, you as an artist have the ability to make an artist playlist, which you might already have, and if you don't, I strongly urge you to do so. Simply create a playlist that is all about you or the kind of stuff you're into, but obviously have your own songs in there. Create a nice artwork for it or ask someone to make one, and then get all of your friends to follow that playlist, like that playlist, and likewise put it on your Instagram story. Get the people to go into this playlist, and then that way Spotify will start recognizing the patterns and start seeing what your audience is like, and from that moment the algorithm should start kicking in. I'm talking radio, potentially even New Music Friday. There's a bunch of playlists, I'll just put them on the screen here, that you can get into just by building your own audience in that time. The next thing I'm going to say actually really goes hand in hand with playlists. So this is promotion campaigns. You can use services such as ToneDen, which have a free trial, or you could use Instagram or Facebook directly. Simply create a post, a short video or a reel showcasing your song with some catchy video, then have a link that goes directly to streaming your song on Spotify. Record labels do this all the time for every single release. The good thing is if you go through Facebook or Instagram directly, it can be very cheap. Here are currently some of the prices for advertising on Facebook and Instagram, which is where you'll find a lot of audience. Keep in mind, of course, your conversion rate will totally depend on the value of, like, the quality of your song and the quality of the video, the catchiness. This takes some trial and error and some practice. I've been using promotion campaigns for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've kind of learned what works well, what doesn't. Use your most exciting part of the song and make some content around that, then promote it. You can also do a promotion campaign on your artist playlist. You start seeing how all these ways kind of intertwine. I've been doing a promotion campaign on my own playlist, although it isn't an artist playlist, it's more a record label playlist. If you may know, I run a record label, Gecko Court. I have 2 Gecko Court playlists that I am funding. The next thing I'm going to talk about is collaborations and communities. The whole idea is you collaborate with another artist so you can cross-pollinate your audiences, and of course the goal is kind of to collaborate with an artist in the same genre. The content creation you can have out of that as well is another great thing. Seriously, anything where there's more than one person involved usually has a lot more engagement. I'm wondering what the psychology behind it is, but collaborations are an underrated thing that have been around since the beginning of music. And why did I say and communities? Well, where are you going to find these people to collaborate with? Potentially on your social medias. But what about these communities that already have all these artists in here, sharing their music for feedback, listening to other music? Join those communities and send your own music on there. Become friends with some of the people there, give some critical feedback, provide, become a valuable member of the community. People will want to work with you in return. I've got my own Gecko Court community where there's a bunch of artists that are collaborating, sharing samples. So if you'd like to join that, you can find it linked in the description of this video. Now, we are a mostly electronic dance music community. So of course, if you're a different genre artist, feel free to join. It might just be a slight case where the artist in there wouldn't be so keen on collaborating with different genres, but feel free to join nevertheless. Another thing that in the last few years has become apparent to be extremely strong is none other than content creation. With the rise of TikTok has come Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, and that's really a way for any person and especially musical artists, to bootstrap or almost rocket launch their way into the music industry. It takes a lot of patience, skill, and effort. It's not as easy as it seems. You need to be consistent, find a unique selling point, be extremely catchy. You just have to understand the fact that everyone's on those apps. People's attention span is very short. So just posting your music is not gonna be enough, but doing something with it, creating a viral trend, or even simply showcasing your music and your reaction to you building your music, I mean, it can do a marathon for your music career, really. As long as you make sure to, again, convert these people from these apps onto your Spotify, get them to follow you on Spotify, or just get them to save your song into their playlists, things like that. I also think if you're a person on TikTok, it might be useful to convert people onto your Instagram, as I don't know what the future of TikTok holds. As we're seeing right now, there's a chance TikTok is going away in the United States, which is obviously kind of a big market for TikTok. I don't think it's going away, and I think something's gonna go right into that. The CEO of YouTube has said that over the next 5 years or something like that, their main effort, their main budget, all of their money will go into building up YouTube Shorts. So I believe that's going to be the next major thing. I personally, when it comes to content creation, as you know, I much prefer doing longer form content. So if you're into that kind of stuff, start a YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort. If it's something that you think you would be interested in taking seriously over the long term, starting now is the best time. This is a famous quote: if you wanted to plant a tree, the best time to do it was 20 years ago. The second best time would be now. Why wait? And really, other than your time and effort, starting a YouTube channel, you will lose nothing. It doesn't cost anything other than your time. All things considered, if you have not so much time, then I could understand why you wouldn't want to put so much effort into this. Instead, you'd want to look into performances or live streaming, as that is something that doesn't require editing. If you've got the talent, but you just want to show it, then set up a camera, set up your laptop, set up your phone, do some live streaming. Just make it a daily thing even. At a certain time, I'm gonna go live, DJ some music, I'm gonna play my guitar, I'm gonna play my drum kit, and you will believe me, like on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Instagram, there are people that are living off of this live stream wave that I also think is not going away. In fact, live streaming might even see another boom over the next 3-4 years. If you're interested in getting into live streaming, I recommend looking into what Twitch could do for you, what Kick could do for you. I've never looked into Kick. Or, you know, what YouTube can do for you. Look into it. It could be a great thing for you. In these performances, you're going to find these new listeners. That's, again, the goal of step 1. So I hope that was all clear to you. Those are my top ways of finding new listeners. Now we're going to talk about how to turn and how to convert those listeners into your fan base. Okay, I've put down world building, which I think is another way of saying building a fan base. There's this famous clip by Virgil Abloh, which I'll play right now.
If I put this candle in an all-white gallery space, it looks like a piece of art. If I put it on in a garage, it looks like a piece of trash. I could either design the candle and spend a lot of time like telling you about the candle, or I could just design the room that it sits in.
The main takeaway, I believe, is that your fan base is the world that you build around it, not just the music, which is the art. Your music can be whatever it is, but if you don't find a home for it, if you don't find a world for it, then what will people be living in? You know, your fan base is almost like a whole world. Think about these famous artists, because why not be ambitious? Why not consider yourself one of them? Try to understand the world that they have built. I'm sure you're a fan of one of these artists, and I'm sure you can almost immediately associate so many other things with this artist. Style, branding, and associations. Style. How do you conduct yourself? How do you talk? How do you dress? What is your style? Have a think about it. And if you don't have a particular style right now, what kind of style does your heart feel most at home with? Again, this could be something that you develop over the years, but at least be conscious of it, because your fans need to know. Your fans need to feel that. One way to get into that, again, is branding. Do you have a clear logo? Do you have a color scheme even? Maybe do you have an electronic press kit? If the answer to this is no, not yet, then I suggest you get onto it. You can create a free logo, or you can ask some professional designers to come up with a logo. Trust me when I say it changes the game. It makes your art and your brand feel so much more real when it just has a logo. You don't even have to be displaying it anywhere. But when you put your name anywhere, does it have a particular font? Or does it always switch around? What is your official artist name? When you perform, do you go by your artist name? When you do content creation, Do you go by your artist name? Are you sticking to your brand? What are you associated with? This goes kind of hand in hand with style, but really, think about it. For me, I would say I am associated with outlandishness, youthfulness, of immaturity, raw electronic, the Y2K style with high contrast, black and white. I would associate my music with the movie Fight Club, the Berghain nightclub. You know, you may be laughing right now, but the truth is, do you have any associations? Do you understand where your music fits into the world? As you can see, the second step is a more like long-term process, but again, starting now to get these things down is just key, because your listeners will kind of pick out, oh yes, this is the guy that does this and that, and then when they think of you, they think of, like I said, like the movie Fight Club, they think of Berghain, they think of high contrast black and white. For me, they think of this logo. It's so subtle, it's so subconscious. They think of me shouting to the camera on YouTube, but that's me. And that's my brand, and that's my world. What do you associate yourself with? The next thing you'll start to notice is that your content creation feeds into this style, this world. You'll see that your Instagram feed becomes way more aesthetic into a certain style. People might just follow you left and right and start following your style. And it could be music videos, it could be interviews, podcasts, wherever you're featured, whatever press kits you're on, whatever. Are you still following this style true to yourself? People will start building a fan base around you like that. I'm gonna tie this right back up with communities and culture, because you'll start noticing that you're not the only one in this field. Naturally speaking, other people are going to be gravitated to you that are in this same world. So you might as well take that first step into finding that world and stepping into it. Everyone wants to build community. Everyone wants to welcome each other in the art world. Think of these big, successful groups and communities that have maybe even started their own subgenres. Think of these record labels that have established such a brand. So find your community and take it all in. I'm gonna wrap this video up, but if there's anything I forgot, let me know in the comment section down below. Get to promoting your music. Don't try to be so super frugal. It all comes down to how much you care about it. A free thing you can do is join this community and share your music. We're all gonna take a listen. I hope to see you there, and if not, subscribe for more. I got this video here. It's a vlog. I think you should watch it. It's really cool. Peace.
Like heaven in the afternoon, in the afternoon.